Mixed age groups are a good sign of quality in Montessori environment, but there's something you can look for as soon as you walk in the door. What does the place feel like? A good Montessori school has a relaxed and comfortable atmosphere. They don't paint the walls bright colors and hang up pictures of cartoon characters. Those things are distractions. Montessori naturally understood intrinsic value, and Montessori schools work very hard to make sure that children are not distracted from the intrinsic values of the work they choose to do. This isn't just about what's on the walls or the shelves, it also has a lot to do with the way the teacher interacts with the students. The teacher sets the tone. A Montessori teacher doesn't greet her students with, "Hey, how are you this morning?" Instead, they might greet their students with a simple, "Good morning," and maybe a handshake. Look, I know that sounds really formal by modern standards, but there's a good reason for it. A vital part of a Montessori classroom is something called grace and courtesy. The teacher models polite behavior and the children practice it with each other. This is actually really helpful for young children. It can help them with shyness, as they will be practicing greeting people in a comfortable environment. It can reduce conflicts and arguments as children learn how to say things like, "Excuse me," and allow each other to pass. I'll go into more detail in a later video as to how these lessons are presented, but it's important to note that politeness is an important part of setting the tone in the classroom and building a positive and productive culture. Aside from being polite, the teacher also aspires to not be too distracting to the students. They do this by trying to consistently maintain a calm, deliberate, and understated demeanor. When you walk into a classroom that is functioning well, you might not notice the teacher at first. You should notice the children working quietly and relatively independently, and after looking around, you might notice the teacher with one or a few students quietly giving a lesson or merely observing them working. When the teacher needs to talk to a child across the room, they stand up, they walk over, they get down on the child's level, and speak to them personally and in a well-enunciated voice. They avoid yelling across the room, speaking without eye contact or speaking too quickly. Ensuring the attention of the child and speaking clearly helps solidify early language skills. A quiet voice keeps distractions to a minimum, and a calm tone establishes a calm tone in the classroom, which helps with focus and behavior. Some teachers prefer almost dead silence in the classroom, but I think that's taking things a little bit too far. A happy bubble of quiet conversation means that children are practicing social skills in addition to the work that they're doing. I don't know that one is definitively better than the other, but the important thing is limiting external stimulation so that children can focus on their internal work. It's hard to frame that idea in the context of how our society tends to view children as agents of chaos, but they respond well to that type of environment. Tone is one part of how the Montessori environment is so effective at helping children focus on the intrinsic value of the work they do. I'll talk about the second part, avoiding extrinsic rewards, in my next video. So thank you for joining me today.